Our first speaker is Paul Erway, Ralph Solomon Schremberger III. Ralph Solomon Schremberger III, Paul Erway.
The picture that's on the wall, guests wonder, what is that doing there? As they enter the bingo hall and the fire hall of my hometown, my small hometown. One of those where the caboose is by the post office, to remind everybody not to criticize the services of others' small town. Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. My father, that horse trader, diplomat, and entrepreneur, had this idea of having a petting zoo beside our dairy store, which also had the produce market, bakery, and the 21 flavors of Perry's ice cream. So when he mentioned to us siblings that he was getting a young buffalo, we all assumed that it's for this project. And so we had a few days to come up with a name. So my siblings came up with the name of Ralph Solomon Schremberger III. And the day he was being delivered, my father decided to have him delivered to our home because behind the house was the small barn for our 5 horses. But there's also the 16 acres of pasture for the buffalo to roam. So as the truck is backing up to the gate, I jump the fence and I position myself 50 feet into the pasture, a little bit to the right, so that when the young buffalo comes strolling off the truck, I hope he comes to me because I want to be his best friend. So then I start to hear heavy footsteps in that truck, the hooves, and the truck starts rocking a little bit. And I'm wondering, did they send the mother buffalo along too? All of a sudden, the rear ramp drops down. The noise becomes huge. This gargantuan brown fur with 8-inch horns comes charging off that truck. My brothers said that I totally froze. But no, I was praying, please don't come to me. You don't look friendly. Luckily, our youngest horse, Colt, comes trotting up to see what this is, catching the eyes of the buffalo, allowing me to jump 50 feet back out of the pasture. But my siblings thought for sure I was running to the house to clean the back of my pants. The first trail ride that we took with all 5 horses. We're about half a mile up the trail. I'm on Colt. And all of a sudden the 4 horses take off and mine, Colt, starts turning around. And then I hear that noise again. And I turn around and look, and here's that gargantuan brown fur with 8-inch horns charging up the trail behind us. That is when we found out that the buffalo misses the horses, but also he can jump the fence at any time he wants. Do you remember that skunk on Saturday Comics, Pepe Le Pew? How he had that little boing, boing where the front feet bounce at the same time as the back? That's the lope of a buffalo. That boing, boing, boing. And he can jump the fence like a professional horse jumper. Also, he likes to scratch his furry head, and he scratches it on a post. And once in a while, he catches those horns in the fence, lifts the post out of the ground like a toothpick. He drops it, he comes back to the horses. The horses see the gate, the fence down, and they charge out of there faster than the starting gates of Churchill Downs. But the buffalo is now in tow, terrorizing that small town. They say the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. our neighbor, has a well manicured lawn, very luscious green. The buffalo jumps over to taste this green grass, and he puts big divots in the lawn. Our neighbor hates that we have a buffalo, so he sues us. The up and coming lawyer finds out that this would be the first court case in Pennsylvania that involved a buffalo. So he said he'd represent my father for free. But this became a publicity stunt because my father, as part of the plea bargain, donated the buffalo to the fire department to have a buffalo roast. That town sold so many tickets, that county, the word got out. They sold so many tickets that only my family and the meat processor knew that my father actually donated a second cow to fill those orders. And you're probably saying, why would your father donate a second cow? But let me ask you, where do you think they got the juice? Where do you think they got the vegetables? Where do you think they got the rolls and the 21 flavors of Perry's ice cream? My father, that horse trader, diplomat, and entrepreneur. And so the people of county might come in that fire hall and they look up to see a picture that's much larger than this and think, oh, he gave his life to this community to be the greatest fundraiser ever for the fire department. But you have to excuse my smile, as you know the rest of the story. He was also a great fundraiser for our family, that Ralph Solomon Schrumberger III. Miss Contest Master,